Poetic Sunday.
Emotions.
It is exactly 6 seconds after the hour 12 o'clock, and this one is the biggest show on DownTown Radio, out of the city, out of the people. And the name of the show is Poetic Sundays. If you want to get this show, you must know that you tune in each and every Sundays with DownTown Radio, and your host will be Azole Minister Jazzy. Last weekend, it was one of the biggest weekends. We was city. Weekend in Kulu. That one was the biggest weekend ever, where we surprised people. We had a guest that everyone never thought we would have. Like, everyone was like, "Who's this guy that you are having this weekend?" And we had Utatu Zolani Mkiva, and it was amazing to talk with one of the legends, knowing that you've been watching this guy on TV, listening to this guy on radio, talking with big guns, but today it is your chance to interview such guy. Wow. And each and every weekend, you must know that it's surprising to have my guests. Each and every guest I appreciate to have, because I know if ever you haven't had ukuba mhlawumbi lo muntu wenza ntoni ngoku, you must know that one day this person will do something big and you'll be surprised, or you'll have to go back to our folders and say, "Hi man, I've spoken to this guy. Hey man, I've had this guy while Ebesakula." So now it was one of those weekends on DownTown Radio, and soon we're bringing a female. That female is big as well. Is big. Everyone will be surprised. And just a hint. If you know the song. Aspililang, Kshotu was Pililang, hi, Aspililang. Ebekona Glongo Malay, by Vusinova. And we're gonna have one of the biggest shows. And we cannot just forget to say rest in peace to F.W. de Klerk, the former president of Mzansi Africa. People have been having different comments on that one and different views, but we would like to say, rest in peace, Papa. And in our culture, as black people, most of the time, we do not celebrate death only because of how we grew up. Death is a painful thing. So even if that person, how did that person treat you or treated you, so you have to respect the death. But let me just go to a song. After the song, we'll be having the show as well, having big things. But let's have this poem. It says, "For more or no more," by Ambitious the Poet.
I am ambitious, the poet who serves as the voice of the voiceless. The desperate times are near, and every corner is gripped with panic and fear. It isn't just the matter of election is here, but the ugly minds of those vigilants on a high gear. Here comes another cycle of 4 years, a supposed time of cheers but filled with fears. A time to decide the fate of our democracy with transparency, accountability, and legitimacy. Here comes another cycle of 4 years. And times like this open the door for campaigning to be elected or re-elected. I see a group of politicians marching into our homes and on the streets, dressed up in big suits and spectacles, like retired workers heading for their pensions. We see them each and every day with their hungry faces, not just hungry for food, but hungry for political opportunity and propelling the risk of insecurity and violence. Those in power comes with the slogan of "for more," whilst the opposition comes with "no more." I don't even know who deserves a "for more" or a chance "no more." They make promises that consume our souls. Their words are dressed up nicely to attract our votes. They make us feel the conception of their deception is just a misconception. And when they succeed with our votes, they are fine to wine and dine in their office, pretending not to see us starving and carried in coffins. Enough of your political antics. We demand accountability for your promises. So bring your manifestos before our premises and make sure maximum delivery is the core, or you have our votes no more. Opportunity comes but once. Tell us what you have achieved with your chance of 4 years. Ka kyerɛ yɛ deɛ woyɛ na yɛntoa wo so. Ɛyɛ free SHS ana progressively free. Planting for food and jobs ana SADA. Yellow ana Okada. Double track ana double salaries. Major infrastructure ana social interventions. YEA ana NAPCO. Papa Guinea fowls no ana Achim excavators. We deserve to know their whereabouts. We still need a clarification to clear our confusion. And so I ask again, were we promised dams or dugouts? And will the allowances be restored or cut out? Accountability is all we seek at the moment, no matter where you can get it, whether from the Green Book or the delivery tracker. We know these are interesting times with negative signs, but violence is not what we seek. We are no more spectators but citizens. Your work rate determines your chance of power but not violence. So allow the will of the people to stand. Peace.
Emotions put into measure.
Well, what a beautiful poem that we've just heard from Ambitious the Poet. Right now, we cannot just forget that, was it 2 weeks back or a week back? But on the 1st of this month, we've been voting for local government elections. Yeah, so we voted. But one thing we've just noticed around South Africa is that what happened was that we don't know what happened. Is it only because Amanda Batikiwe? Is it only because people don't believe that politicians fulfill their promises? What happened? But I'm just interested to know, because it's interesting to know why people did not vote. Because if ever you looked at people who registered to vote, with so many, but each year, as from 1994, it dropped. There is a percentage that drops. So we were just interested to know what's happening. Is that only because we get promised of such things that we do not get, or what? But it's very interesting. I would like to know what happens, what makes people not to vote. We know that so many politicians promises people houses, and there is a training video on Instagram and Twitter, on Twitter, where I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say this, but I'm talking of something that I've got proof of, where the president says, in Soweto, somewhere in Johannesburg, we're gonna build 1 million houses for the people, and the speaker of that political party is speaking in behalf of the political party, and the speaker says, it's not a speaker, it's a speaker. It says, I know the president never promised people, never promised to build 1 million houses. It was around 1,000. It was around 10,000, 100,000, but he never promised. And that video, when you play that particular video, you see that no, these things are contradicting. They're not saying the very same thing. But I want to know what makes you. What made you not to vote, and what will make you not to vote? What is one thing that makes you say no, politics ziyadlala ngathi? But let's go to a song. After that song, we'll come back and I will read your comments as well. So the song by Too Proud featuring Umhleli, Yellow Dress.
There's something about it I see. Who that girl over there? With a yellow dress. I want her, I feel her. There's something about it I see. Look at that body, babe. I'm about to make a move. Go niggas out here don't play. Sunday la babe, mena funa buena babe. Senta tequila, ukeza ngani, bengalonu bisi. You look like a Luyanda, your body says it all. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, I don't care. I still want your number. I know you interested, so baby give it up. Anginandaba nalo ambanab, minambona when I'm within my eyes. This is so unreal, this is so unreal. Gantungizani, so fine that dress, got me focused on you. I'm so tired being alone, I need changes gone, I need changes gone. So fine that dress, got me focused on you. I need changes gone, I need changes gone. Who that girl over there? With a yellow dress, I feel her. There's something about it I see. Who that girl over there? With a yellow dress, I feel her. There's something about it I see.
Remember when I met you, told you that you look good. Everything was so cool till the yellow dress came through. And now I'm even mad at you, 'cause you put me through the danger vu. Bega manju suyangli, yazidala ngatembis, kuthi soze ngakuyisa, kanti siyongise. Yellow dress, yone yenzi mess. Yes, I got your number, but I couldn't press the yes. Mina ngiyatanda babe, kodwa ngisana enhlo. Yazi ngiyaqala nokubona, kodwa luthando lanqoba.
Who that girl over there? With a yellow dress, I feel her. There's something about it I see. Who that girl over there? With a yellow dress, I feel her. There's something about it I see.
Emotions put into measure.
People do not engage themselves with such topics in our days because they believe that if ever you can engage yourself with such topics, hey, you can be threatened, or they will feel like you are a threat. But there are those people who just commented on our social media, Facebook. Kanlelo said, yes, South Africa is scam. South Africa is scam. While Lepara Motusi said, not entirely, but our government has failed us in many promises they have made. We have been victims of political deception. So people do believe that it's scam. This thing, it's a scam, because whenever they come to us, they just tell us that, hey, we're gonna build your houses, we're gonna build a road, we're gonna have water for everyone. But you know that that won't happen. You do know that it won't happen. Or it's either politicians are promising us things that are on a long run, because you can take out your councillor Ucebo wako now and put another one. Even that one will take time to deliver, only because I do believe that it takes time, only because the current one will write that in 2021 we are going to build a road, but between Kentane and Durban. So whenever we are building that road, it will take us 6 months. But if ever I'm getting in his shoes or her shoes, I cannot do a thing up until that one is done in 2022. So you cannot just come and say, no, I'm going to make a change very quick. It's a process. That is what I've just noticed. But I can hear people when they say, hey, this one is a scam. It's a scam because they give us promises that they don't fulfill. Because in different places they've been promised to have hospitals, to have schools, but even now, since 1994. So yeah, it's I know I won't say a thing, but it is what it is. So right now, let's go to a song. Thereafter, we go to we have an ad break. After we go straight to that interview that you've been waiting for, because we've got a guest from Ghana. But before that one, let's take a song, The Process by Ambitious the Poet.
I am ambitious, the candle lighter, the poet who lights the path of darkness with words to inspire change. Trust the process. Life is a journey to success, running through days and nights filled with tons of struggles and trials. We hide from dark in search for light. Nothing good is achieved on a silver platter. They say life favors the struggler, but sometimes it's hard to breathe through the struggle. Almost impossible to bear the pain of your hustle. But keep in mind that the key to success is to always trust the process. Great things always take time to materialize. It's impossible to realize your dreams without facing trials and struggles. Even your journey into this world to whom you have become is a journey of struggle through a narrow path. A nurse pregnancy of 9 solid months through to infancy and childhood to adolescence and adulthood. Life indeed is not a smooth, silky little road. Rather, it's a journey with a bump of heavy load. But never and ever lose sight of the process. Make a choice and don't hold back. Stick to your guns and don't let flimsy excuses propel you backwards. I know you may get tired of holding on, that sometimes you feel like committing suicide. I know how it feels to be disappointed. More painful is being rejected, insulted, and dispirited in your struggle to win. But remember, they say, winners never quit, and so does quitters never win. Be mindful that all doors may close along the journey, but trust that better ones will surely open. Trust that when we see ourselves again, the mirror will show someone beyond measure. The unexpected is always expected. Nothing in this life is impossible to achieve. You never know the outcome of your struggle, but how about the belief that God's time is the best and never give a minute to the rest? Listen to your heart and soul to be consoled. Keep faith and focus until the victory arrives. No man born of a woman can stop you from the prize except for yourself. Give some time to nurse your dreams into fruition. Do not be too desperate to get there, for desperation is only but a gateway to destruction. Never expect the journey to be smooth, because life will present you with setbacks, not to quench the kindling fire of your endless desire to win, but rather to teach you the value of patience. Failure is equally a setback in the process, but the lessons of failure and patience will drive our strive to success. So hold on to your dreams with patience and courage, and you will soon be at the doors of success, climbing upstairs with PhDs and masters. I see you drowning in a pool of luxury with great personalities, winning big at both national and international. Believe me when I say you are a winner, but for you to win, it takes a lot of sacrifice to achieve success. So believe in yourself and trust the process.
Emotions put into measure.
Well, right now we are having a good interview with one of the poets from Ghana. And if ever you want to know who's this guy, but let me ask it for you. Who is Ambitious the Poet?
Actually, Ambitious the Poet happens to be my stage name. My real name is Abdelmumin Abdel Hakim, a spoken word act based in the northern part of Ghana, Tamale to be precise. I had my junior high school education at Zogbeli Junior High School, Block A, Nobiskora, it was popularly known, before moving to Kumbungu Senior High School and subsequently to Tamale College of Education, where I obtained my diploma in basic education certificate. For that matter, I am a professional teacher as we speak. Actually, when I had the mind to start doing poetry, I didn't want to use my real name. Rather, I wanted a name that can define my personality. So I decided to use ambitious, which means someone who desires and aspires to achieve greater heights. And to tell you for a fact, that's actually who I am all about. So basically, that is what I can say about myself.
And I'm pretty sure that people are also interested to know when and how did you start with poetry? Because so many people started, their parents and friends would say, "Whoa, she started it from an early age."
If my memory can serve me right, I think the genesis of my poetry all started from infancy when I was in primary, because I used to be a lover of English lessons, especially when it comes to rhymes and poems. Back then, I had a very lovely poem titled Evolution, and everyone used to call me by that. So as I was growing up, the interest in poetry keeps growing to the extent that I could write short poems on my own even before I got inspired by Gombila the poet. But then officially, I took poetry up seriously in June 2019 when I completed college, because I believe it was another way I could bring positive change in society, because I'm someone who believes in transformation and bringing change to wherever I found myself. But then I wasn't known, so I decided to dwell my pieces on trending issues to gain the people's attention first. Because whatever you want to bring out or want to give to the people, they must first of all know you, or they must first of all give you their attention. So thankfully, it really worked for me when I recorded Boot for Boot, which was a serious political banter back then as we were edging towards elections. It really did the magic because everyone got talking about the poem, including some great personalities I couldn't imagine. And since then till now, the rest is history.
Besides poetry, what else do you do? You might be an entrepreneur or something else.
Like I said earlier on, aside being a spoken word artist, I'm also a professional teacher, a certified journalist, an author of a book titled Ambitious Phonetic Guide for KG Primary and Junior High School. I'm also a motivational speaker, a blogger, and then a youth activist. So these are my other side jobs aside poetry.
You have just released or about to release a spoken word album of 14 tracks. Wow, 14 tracks solely. Tell us about it. What is it about?
Well, for the album, it is titled Swali. And then Swali is in Dagbani. That's our local dialect. And in English, it means journey. So basically, this album is about my journey, to celebrate my journey so far in the poetry fraternity. Like I told you earlier, when I came out in June 2019, and as we speak right now, I already have 2 awards in my home base. In the Northern Ghana Entertainment Awards, I won the Spoken Word Artist of the Year for 2020 and 2021. And then I also had 1 national award in the Classic Music and Entertainment Awards this year. So you can imagine someone coming out in just a period of 2 years and is able to achieve all this in a short while. So I think that this album should be made to celebrate the journey so far, and then to tell the fans that a lot of works are still coming up for them to enjoy. So the album contains 14 tracks, and it is a compilation of tracks I've released since I started poetry within that journey, and then some other new pieces blend together. So the 14 tracks, the first track on the album is Swelly, and I features one of the renowned musicians we have in Tamale, in the person of Black Boy. So track 1 is Swelly. Track 2 is Trust the Process. Track 3 is Victory. Track 4 is Boot for Boot, which I spoke about earlier. Track 5 is 4 More or No More. Track 6 on the album is Fix the Country. 7 on the album is Coronavirus. 8 on the album is A New Beginning, which was a poem I did for the coronavirus pandemic. After the coronavirus pandemic, it's really a very nice piece. And then 9 on the album is Fake Reality. I did it with one of our legends in the game, who is Lancer Lawrence. 10 on the album is My African Queen. 11 on the album I have Justice for Racial Abuse. 12 on the album I have Say No to Xenophobia. 13 on the album I have what do we call it? It seems it's skipping my mind, but the 14th one on the album is Thank God It's Friday. So these 14 tracks on the album will be coming out very soon, hopefully in the middle or by the end of this month. A lot of them have been released already actually, but I'm going to drop the full album in my YouTube and then in my Audio Mark channel. So you can follow me on YouTube, Ambitious the Poet, and then Audio Mark 2, it is Ambitious the Poet. The album will be dropping very soon, and you have a feel of some fantastic pieces from the camp of Ambitious the Poet.
You refer to yourself as the poet that serves as a voice for the voiceless. It is safe? Is it safe and correct to say you based most of your poetry around social issues?
Yes, of course. You will be very right to say that my poems tackle social issues. You'll be very right, because I'm someone who always look around the society to see what is happening, not even within where I am, but outside, to see what is happening so that I can pick a topic out of that and write to the benefit of the people. You remember I mentioned justice for racial abuse. It was an issue that happened in Nigeria, in America. And then the one I forgot to mention when I was mentioning the track list, NSAS, I featured Inspirational Smiler. It was about the issue that happened in Nigeria. And then you look at points like 4 More or No More, Boot for Boot. There are issues that happen within Ghana here, and they need to be tackled. So I wrote poems on them. So basically, I call myself the voice of the voiceless because my poems represent the people, and it represents the voice of the people. So you will be right to say my poems tackle social issues. Yeah.
In your poem titled For More or No More, you talked about political deception. What inspired that?
Yes, my poem on 4 More or No More tackles political deception. And then with this one, you and I can bear witness that when politicians want power, they can go any mile to get it. They can give you all manner of promises just to get what they want. And it is an issue that happens across the globe, in every country, and Ghana is not an exception. Most often than not, when it is election time, we see our leaders parading themselves around like retired workers heading for their pensions, moving from houses to houses on the streets and begging us to vote for them. But it is very sad that when we vote for them and they got into power, they tend to forget about what is happening to we the citizens, we those that help them to get into power. So this poem, I got inspired by what I saw happening. So I decided to write that poem to tell them that we are very mindful of whatever they do. we are very mindful of the promises they make to us, and for that matter, now we'll be voting based on how far they have fulfilled their promises. So you see somewhere in the poem I try to compare the promises of some two political parties and try to ask questions to them to find out whether they have really fulfilled those promises they made us, or they are seeking for another chance to deceive us more. So that was just the brain behind the whole poem, and I think it was really a huge blow across Ghana and beyond.
Talking of political deception, here in South Africa we have just concluded municipality elections. Voters turnout across the country is the lowest this year, and it's actually the case in most African countries lately. Do you think Africans have experienced a lot of political deception from their leaders?
Of course, yes. I think it is not only in South Africa that the number of voters that turn out to vote every year keeps decreasing. It's not only in South Africa. Even in the case of Ghana, the number of people that came out to vote, say in 2016 election, decreased when we got to 2020 election. And I think it is high time our leaders tighten their belts and try to fulfill the promises they make to us, because it looks as if we the voters or citizens are getting fed up with their failed promises. And so that is what accounts for the reduce in number of people that turn out to vote during elections. So though I am not in South Africa to delve much into this issue, but then I'll just plead to the citizens to keep on voting, exercising their franchise, because at the end of the day, they have to think deeply and then choose the best leaders for the country. If they sit aloof or maybe just relax and say, okay, we are not going to vote for them, we are not going to vote again, at the end of the day, some people will go and then vote wrong leaders, and that chain will continue. If we see that this particular government we've been voting for is not doing the best as we want, why not change to a different person and see what he or she can also offer, rather than saying we will not vote again, which leads to the decrease in the number of voters. So I think it is really something that our leaders has to look into to ensure that they fulfill most of their promises. And as well, we the voters should keep voting to make sure that we get the right leaders in offices to ensure that we have a smooth running of our countries, and then development would surely suffice.
You also have a poem titled Fix Ghana Now, which is also politically inspired. What is the story behind that one? It's very interesting.
Yes, so with the poem Fix Ghana Now, indeed it was also politically inspired. And there's a saying that after every thunderstorm comes the rain. So there was this chanting and hashtagging of Fix Ghana, Fix Ghana, Fix Ghana, which really heated every corner in Ghana here, because a lot of things happened. Prices of goods shooting up, boom saw, which is unstable electricity power supply, and then rise in fuel prices, and a whole lot. And you see, like I said earlier on, our leaders will always make elephant promises, and when they come into power, they tend to deliver chickens. So this issue really got to its heights, and people even demonstrated because of that. So as someone who likes to tackle social issues, I use that to frame a point, to remind our leaders of their task, and also to remind we the voters as well, because I believe that 70% of the problem is coming from us. Why do I say so? Sometimes you see some of us defending our political parties when in actual fact we know that they are wrong or they are not doing the right thing. But for our selfish interest, for our love for those parties, let me say our blind love for those parties, we tend to defend them in any case when they are not doing right. And you see, there's something we should know. You cannot face your future unless you deal with your past. So if we are not able to reshape what we have done wrong previously, then going into the future, we are going to meet the same thing or even worse. So it was important that I create this point to educate our leaders and then to educate the people on this particular issue. Because every country's aim is to develop. There's no country who is just voting, whose citizens are just voting because they feel like voting. What we aim for is development. So if we vote for development and the development is not seeing the daylight, it is the responsibility of we the citizens to speak out, and most especially myself, who represents the voice of the voiceless. It was my duty to use this as a point. So basically, that was what the point was just all about.
So you use poetry mostly to address social issues, is it?
Yes, it's no doubt. It's no doubt that I use my poem to address social issues. And for me, like I said earlier, when I say social issues, it doesn't necessarily mean within my vicinity. Even problems happening in other societies even outside Ghana, which I think that it needs an address, I will not hesitate to write a poem on that. And then aside that, poetry has a way of touching people. So we have to do poetry in different ways, in different styles, in different journeys. And that is what I am all about. So I'm all up for anything, any style of poetry. I'm a learner and I keep learning because I want to do everything. Yes, I know it is impossible to do everything, but at least I want to be much abreast with all the ways of, because sometimes you have to do poetry in a very unique or specific way to be able to carry your message across. So you realize that in most of my pieces, I don't use one particular style. I use different, because the style I use for each poem matches with it. So yeah, that is how I tackle social issues. I try to look at what issue is it and what style will best fit for it.
With the COVID-19 pandemic hitting Africa, how has it impacted to your creativity as a poet?
Yes, actually, the COVID-19 has really impacted negatively on us, because you realize that movements were restricted, so we couldn't hit the studios to record more poems. And I'm someone who is not that stable. Sometimes I leave from Tamale to school. So at that period, I wanted to record most of my pieces down so that when I move, I can carry some of the pieces along and then drop them while I'm in school. So it has really affected us negatively. And also, some of the pieces need some visuals. You need to go for a video. And here's the case: they are saying that you can't have contact with each other. You shouldn't get closer to each other and the rest. So it really impacted negatively on our work. But then we've not stopped. We are just trying our best, because when the COVID came, I think I did a poem titled Coronavirus, just to educate the people. And aside that, I also did a poem, A New Beginning, when the COVID was about to go in. When it was almost at its death stage. So I think now everything is calm. Though we can't say the virus is gone forever, but I think everything is calm now. And then we are picking up seriously with this album. And after this album, I'll be recording another EP next year. So everybody should just watch out. After this album, I'll be recording another EP next year, and hopefully a concert will follow the EP. I want to label the EP. You know, this album is the Journey album. So I want to label the EP the Hero EP, and then maybe we'll follow it with a concert next year, December. And the concert may be dubbed Journey of a Hero. So that's the plan currently. I'm still working with my team to see how we can make all this a reality. Yeah.
Lastly, so where can people find you on social media?
Yeah, so to follow me on social media, on Facebook, I have my Facebook account and my Facebook page. The Facebook account is Prince Yaro. You can easily give me a friend request. And then my Facebook page is Ambitious the Poet. So if you just write Ambitious the Poet, you see my page. You like the page for any latest. And then aside that, you can also follow me on Instagram. It is Ambitious the Poet. On Twitter, it is Ambitious the Poet. And on YouTube, it is Ambitious the Poet. So without much ado, lastly, I would like to say a very big thank you once again to you for giving me this great opportunity, and once again to your listeners for spending time to listen to our conversation. It's really been a pleasure, and in fact, South Africa will always be my home. And each time I have a project, I will not hesitate than to reach out to you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we even know, but we cannot conclude without asking, are you still...
Downtown Radio is yet to bring you new, hot and entertaining content. I mean, why not? Be sure to listen to the beat of the heart of the city, the heart of the people. Keep it trill. The Rap Battle Show is a new Downtown music sister show dedicated to hip hop and rap strictly for underground cats. Coming soon right here on Downtown Radio, the heart of the city, the heart of the people.
Emotions put into measure.
Hokela uyadela usuqala uyangisela igama lithi mina ngiyadelela uyangisukela wena wawushilo sisaqala ukuthandana wawushilo wathange kungishiya wawushilo sisaqala ukuthandana wawushilo wathange kungishiya wawushilo sisaqala ukuthandana wawushilo wathange kungishiya wawushilo wathange kungishiya wawushilo wathange kungikhohlwa wawushilo wathange kungikhohlwa wawushilo wathange ungizwile lasho lapho uthando lolo lwalo isikhiye nguzile iphi impendulo isikhathi siyahamba isolo nabo bowusunguluko uthando luphelela ekhaya uyabona udinga ibuko. Come back to your senses, baby, I hope you do so.
Emotions put into measure.
Wow, we're in a few seconds. I'm about to go, but we just had a beautiful song into Wawushilo by Iletu, and right now Diablela thank Kakulu guys, Diablela Kakulu for listening to the speaker show. And another reason is that Next week, Maslanga in the same show, and I'll be having some surprise. Another one I did, but we'll be having a surprise. Way. Catch me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Minister Jezila. And don't forget to follow our social media. Go Facebook at DownTown Radio. Guys, what time is it? Tick tock, tick tock. It is DownTown Radio. Dabulela guys, dendenda kakhulu. Right now andinshine ngoma ethi Oh Yarona by Blondie Makele. Bye bye.
Emotions put into measure.
Produced by Modism.